Chapter 5. Elle came into the diner with the bag of costumes over her shoulder. It was heavy. She'd gone to see Carrie down the street at her store, the Fabric House, because she was a local member of the Commerce for Business. Carrie had been full of good information. Also, a little bit of bad information. This year's theme was not a Victorian Christmas, as Elle had rather hoped, but instead Santa's workshop. This meant an entire change of costumes. Instead of quaint, old-fashioned dress for the waitstaff, it meant elf gear. Santa and Mrs. Claus were all sold out at this time of the year. Elle loved Christmas, but she had the feeling she was going to be pushing it a little far with the costumes. She put them on an unused table and sat down. The mall had been a madhouse. It had taken far too much time out of her day. "You get costume?" Aurora pawed through the bag. She raised an eyebrow and pulled out green tights. "This not pretty dress." "Nope, it's Santa's workshop this year." Elle sighed and pulled out a pair of shoe covers that had little round bells on them. It was her compromise to the actual elf slippers that the store had been selling, which were highly impractical for a restaurant. "You're kidding me," Noah said flatly as he looked at the items Aurora was holding up. "Elves?" "It's what the store had. Santa and Mrs. Claus are sold out," Elle smiled hopefully. "We'll all make cute elves. The customers will love it." "I'm not wearing that," Noah said. "Nowhere when I was hired did you stipulate that we would have to wear costumes." "It's Christmas. The entire block is participating, and we are as well because it's good for business," Elle insisted. She grabbed a complete costume for herself. "I'm going to get changed, and you'll see that it's not so bad." "You will look cute as an elf. I will look like an overgrown idiot," Noah said darkly. "I will wear," Aurora declared. "I will be sexy elf." Elle and Aurora went to the restroom and tried on the costumes. After a few adjustments, they were passable elves. Elle sighed into the mirror. It wasn't great, but the outfits were easy to wear, and it wouldn't be too hot in the busy restaurant, which was a good thing. Last thing everyone wanted was a sweaty waiter. She tugged at her elf skirt. It was a little short. Aurora put on another layer of lip gloss and pulled on the skirt, trying to adjust it to her liking. Not very sexy. "No," Elle agreed. "I don't think these ones are supposed to be." "I have red sweater. We'll wear with it," Aurora said as she eyed herself in the mirror. "Is there a reason you want to be sexy?" Elle asked dryly. "Why not be sexy?" Aurora winked. 3 sexy men work here, all available." Elle frowned. "Noah is dating someone." "Dating," Aurora shrugged. "Not married yet." Elle ignored Aurora and left the restroom. She didn't like the idea of Aurora chasing after Noah. She hoped that he would have more sense than to get involved with his fellow employee. Elle wondered for a moment why she wasn't as concerned for Max, or even Polly, who had an obvious history with Aurora. Pushing the thought aside, she presented herself to Noah. "See, it's comfortable." "Not on your life," Noah declared. He retreated to the kitchen with Elle following. "Come on," she pleaded. "It's for Christmas. The old folks and the kids will adore you as an elf." The kitchen staff stopped working and stared at Elle. Max burst out laughing. Ramos's mouth twitched and Polly grinned. "No," reiterated Noah. "Please, oh please, oh please," Max cried as he laughed. "Make him an elf." "Shut up, Max," Noah glared. "Real men wear tights," Max advised cheekily. "It's for the kids." "Not happening." "Noah, I would really appreciate it if you would join us in wearing the costumes. It's just for the week before Christmas during the business night block event. It will look odd if one of the waitstaff isn't an elf when the others are," Elle reasoned. "Dude, I will forgive you everything past, present, and future if you will wear that," Max chuckled, "as long as I get to have a picture." "Why don't you wear it? We'll trade jobs for the week," Noah offered. "It's for the kids, Max." "Nope," Max grinned. "You're the waiter." "Don't even look at me." Polly put up his hands to ward off any entreaties for him to wear the outfit. "It's all you, Noah." "Please," Elle said as Aurora entered the kitchen. The waitress had already changed back to her regular clothing. Noah shook his head and sighed. "He's caving," Max crowed. "This is your fault." Noah glared at Max. "If you weren't working here, I wouldn't be forced into doing this." "Nobody asked you to follow me," Max said unrepentantly as he grinned. "No picture. growled Noah. "Then I'm still not talking to you," Max shrugged. "I think, at this point, I'm the one who's not talking to you," Noah glowered at Max. "They are like children," Aurora said mildly to Polly. "Yeah, kind of entertaining to watch," Polly replied. Aurora shrugged. "You think children entertaining?" "Sometimes." Polly gave her an odd look, wondering what she was driving at. Aurora shrugged again. Elle rolled her eyes at the pair before turning to Noah. "Thank you, Noah. I really appreciate it. The customers will love it." Noah shook his head. "I can't believe I'm agreeing to this." "Sucker," Max smirked. "Don't you have dishes to do?" Noah asked darkly. "Yup," Max said happily. "Let's get some of the decorations up while it's not so busy." Elle decided to separate the brothers. "Max can help Ramos do some extra cleaning in the kitchen. Aurora and Polly can help us in the restaurant. I'm going to get changed. Polly, can you grab the tree and decorations out of storage?" "Sure thing, boss," Polly said. "Come on, elves, we got work to do." "Not funny," Noah muttered as he and Aurora followed Polly. "Very funny," Max called after them. "You should stop giving him such a hard time," Elle replied dryly. "Where would be the fun in that?" Max asked as he grinned. "We always push each other a little. It's a brother thing." "He's trying. You've made him work for this long enough." Elle leaned on the dishwashing counter. "Have you forgiven him yet?" "Sure, he just doesn't know it yet," Max said easily. "Maybe you should tell him," Elle advised. "And miss out on all of the fun of making him work here? No way." He grabbed a scour pad and pot. "Well, I hope you know what you're doing," Elle said. "There comes a point when people sometimes give up if they feel they aren't making any progress. He's concerned about you and only wants what is best for you." "He wants what is best on his terms," Max clarified. "I'd just appreciate it if he would lay off about how I'm choosing to live. He doesn't understand." "No, he doesn't. And neither do I," Elle said. She laid a hand on his arm. "He just wants to feel like you're safe and okay. That's hard to do when you're living out of shelter and who knows where else. No one loves you. Family is important, Max, no matter how much they irritate us." Max blew out a breath in weary frustration. "They turned their backs on me, Elle. I did the right thing, and I'm the one who got punished for it. I know it's not Noah's fault, but I'm having a bit of a hard time letting go of that." "That is hard," Elle sympathized. "Sometimes we need to forgive, though. Not for their sakes, but for our own. It's hard to carry around unhappiness. It eats at the soul." Max nodded reluctantly. "I'm not really mad at Noah anymore. I'm still angry at Michael and definitely at Dad." "Have you tried talking to either of them?" Elle asked. "No." "Maybe you should," she said. "I don't think that's a good idea at this point," Max sighed. "I don't know if Dad and I will ever repair our relationship. Maybe, someday, Michael and I can talk." "I know you probably won't be celebrating Christmas with your family, so, if you'd like, you can celebrate with mine. We put on a nice meal and play board games," Elle offered. She felt for him and wished she could do more. "Thanks, Elle. I'd like that." Max was moved by her offer. Elle gave him a hug. She felt bad about Max's situation and hoped that giving him this job and providing holiday memory would help him. She would hate to be alone for Christmas. Noah cleared his throat. "Polly wants to know if you want the entire village taken out of storage as well." "Yes." Elle let go of Max and went out of the kitchen. Noah looked at his brother a moment before following Elle. He wasn't comfortable with seeing Elle in Max's arms. He wasn't sure what he had interrupted. It couldn't be that big of a deal with Ramos in the kitchen with the two of them, but he still didn't like it. Noah helped to unpack boxes of ornaments, carefully laying them out on an empty table. He tried to analyze his emotions and found that he might be a little jealous, which was silly, because it was his brother and Elle. Elle, who looked beautiful even as an elf. The green tights had showed off her curvy legs. Noah scowled. Max had always been a bit of a charmer with the ladies. He hoped that Max wasn't putting any moves on Elle. A knot coiled in his stomach. He had feelings for her, and that wasn't good. He was supposed to be dating Bethany. Beth, who was sweet and a good friend. Beth, who deserved a guy who was faithful and protective of her. He looked up to see Elle come back, dressed in her regular black slacks and white blouse. She smiled as she saw Polly and Aurora arguing over where to put the 2 kissing bows, and her smile took his breath away. He felt a pull of desire for her and knew that was a bad idea. He wasn't like some guys who tried to juggle 2 women at once. While he and Bethany were just going out as friends, he wouldn't feel right dating Elle at the same time. And he couldn't stop seeing Beth for now, since that was part of the bargain that he had with his father. Better to try to put the idea of Elle from his mind, he resolved. Elle started poking through the boxes beside him, unwrapping little snowing buildings that would light up when plugged in. "We got this when I was 6. I had the chicken pox and it was entirely miserable. Mama let me pick it out that year. This one we got when I was 8. It was my father's turn to pick out the building, and he liked this church." Noah listened to her happy chatter. "Is there one for each year?" "1 building for each year since they moved to America. 2 ornaments for each year since I was born. Then it was 3 each year, 1 for each of us. The tree is starting to get full, but there's still room for plenty more," Elle said. "When I was young, the tree was pretty bare, but it was a tradition, and I really liked it since every year it builds on the last year. Each ornament has a special memory attached to it." "What about this one?" Noah asked, holding up a frosted glass pine cone. "The pine cones are from my 13th year. We all chose a different color pine cone." Elle smiled happily at the recollection. "I'm sad that I won't be able to shop with them for ornaments this year, since they won't be back until just before Christmas Eve." "That's a nice tradition," Noah commented. He wondered if maybe someday, when he had kids, if he would do something similar. It certainly seemed to give a lot more meaning to the holiday season than what he had grown up with. He watched Polly set up a step-ladder by the kitchen door. Aurora was holding the kissing bow while Polly climbed the rickety contraption. By the kitchen door? Elle made a face. Better than by the till. One year it was there, and every customer insisted on having a kiss while paying their bill. "Better than the till," Noah agreed, thinking about Minnie and all the other elderly customers. He continued to unwrap ornaments, setting the cushioning papers in his pile. "How's your foot doing?" she asked. "It's fine," Noah lied. It was throbbing a little, but he would throw some ice on it when he got back to the condo. "Are you sure?" Elle raised an eyebrow. "I noticed you started limping in the past hour. If you need to take the rest of the night off or need to sit down, you can." "It's okay," Noah said. "Thanks."